Hey everyone, and welcome to the 7th episode of Mean Green Screen, where we give you our thoughts and predictions on the biggest topics in sports. I'm your host Armando Berry, and on Tuesday night, the LA Dodgers were crowned champions for the first time since 1988 after defeating the Tampa Bay Rays 3-1 in Game 6 of the World Series. To top it off, Dodgers shortstop Corey Seager was awarded the Willie Mays Most Valuable Player Award. So now, it's time to take a step back and look at this year's MLB season. Alongside me for that is Erica C. and Jacob Bernardini. Guys, they finally did it. It took like 38 years. Jacob, let me know, what was your reaction to their win in Game 6?
It's about time they won. I mean, the debatability of that they should have won is honestly, if it should have been a Game 7 or not, we'll talk about that later, but it's about time they won. It's been 32 years. Of course, that city also won the NBA Finals this year as well, so they're going to be obnoxious for quite some time. But they deserve the win. I mean, a lot of fans will tell you that they felt they got robbed twice by the Red Sox and the Astros because, of course, those teams were caught in some cheating scandals, but good job for them finally winning.
Okay, Erica, take me where you were, what you were doing, how you felt about the Dodgers win this season.
I was pretty excited for them. I mean, they haven't won in 30-something years. It's been a while. I'm not an LA Dodgers fan or a Rays fan, but I knew that it was going to be a pretty exciting World Series because Tampa Bay won the Stanley Cup, and then LA won the NBA Finals, so it was a really exciting game. So I was pretty excited that they did win. I felt happy for them since it's been so long since they've won one.
Definitely, I guess there was a lot at stake for both these cities. But Erica, I want you to take me through, do you think the Dodgers won this World Series or the Rays lost it?
Honestly, I think the Dodgers won it. I think they did earn it. Both managers came into the game knowing what they wanted to do with their players and with their pitchers, and I feel that the Dodgers definitely relied more on their starters than the Rays did. And the Rays relied too much on Kevin Cash, which debated in some problems for them. But I do think that the Dodgers did earn it.
Definitely, you brought up Kevin Cash. There was a big kind of incident with him and Blake Snell pulling him out in the game. So that kind of created a lot of friction, to say the least. I want to know how you think that will impact them next season. Jacob, let me know, what do you think happened for this game?
The Rays absolutely lost. I'll tell you why right now. We're going to go down a little journey down a thing called analytics. Now, analytics is huge in baseball. People love analytics. It's a big part of the game in the long term. But here's the thing. In the short term, you have to use your eyes. And unfortunately, Kevin Cash did not use his eyes and realized that Snell was pitching the best game of his entire life. 2 hits. 2 hits only. He struck out 9 of the 18 guys that were up for bat, including their top hitters. And that offense is pretty deadly for the Dodgers. So the fact that he pulled Snell for someone who, I can't even remember his name because he's such a scrub, to be honest with you, that was the worst decision. It's one of the worst decisions I've ever seen. This is why there are a lot of people that don't listen to analytics, like Dusty Baker, who doesn't listen to analytics, just listens to his gut. And honestly, I kind of understand why, because when stuff like this happens, it costs you the game, and it costs them the game for sure.
Okay, definitely, Jacob. So in your eyes, the Rays definitely lost this one to you. So I want to ask you again, how did this World Series stack up to you amongst other years when you think that the Rays gave this up one for themselves?
I think that, of course, the Dodgers played well. I mean, compared to other years, I feel like there isn't as much, I guess you could say, tarnish to it because of what happened the previous 2 years with the so-called cheating that was going on. I mean, banging the trash can for the Astros and, some sign stealing going on for the Red Sox as well. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not the biggest baseball fan, but I usually watch like one game. Game 6 was the game I did watch for this one, and I'm not an expert, but I could tell that it was exciting, especially towards the end when they pulled Snell and the Dodgers really started to get rolling. But honestly, it's not my favorite World Series of all time. That has to go to when the Yankees beat the Phillies because I'm a Yankees fan, and that was 2009, so.
Okay,
Erica, real quick, let me know, what do you think about this World Series compared to other ones in years past?
I think it was a little bit different because of COVID. I mean, I feel like the audience outcome for it was a lot better than it has been just because it was COVID, it was the World Series, it was in Texas, but I do think it was a lot different for players because they didn't get to play in their hometown, in their home stadium, and I feel like it just was a little bit different for them this year since it was locally in Texas, but it was cool for us.
Definitely, I got to give the Dodgers their credit because when you win, you win. They lost in 2017, lost 2018, and then they beat the odds and finally get the win this year. Jacob and Erica, thank you for your time. We've got a brand new segment coming up next right after this.
Can't high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your
At the quarter mark of the NFL season, we brought you Contender or Pretender. Now that we're halfway through, we're introducing you to another new segment called Three's All You Need. We will choose 3 words to describe some of the action-packed game that took place over the weekend with a little explanation why. Joining me for Three's All You Need is Jennifer Holberg and Jose Moreno. Jose, please just explain.
It's Halloween time, so I decided to show up as my Halloween costume, the rapper FF Tomb. That's all the time I get with the mask. The producer said I can't be with it for too long. But happy Halloween, everybody. I'm ready to talk about some sports.
Happy Halloween. Y'all ready to talk NFL football?
Yes.
All right, so the first game, I want y'all to give me 3 words to describe the Titans versus the Steelers.
Dude, this is going to be a great one.
Jose, you ready to go?
In a little bit.
All right, Jennifer, you look like you're ready. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, mine's 4 words, but I put the Steelers still suck. I'm sorry. I don't know why they're undefeated. They gave up a, 17-point lead in the second half. I'm not convinced. I'm not committed to them. I think that they don't look as good as their record says they are.
Okay, Jose, do you agree? Let me see your 3 words.
That's 4 words, but Gostowski can't kick. He literally missed an under 50-yard field goal. Dude, you're getting paid money to kick a football, and you're like right there. Put me in there, man. Playing like Kai Forbath out here, dude. Jesus.
Oh, my goodness.
Mine's nowhere to go because Derrick Henry had nowhere to go. This is the top 5 offense in the NFL, and they only had 85 yards in the first half. So I think he just had nowhere to go. That's the best way to describe this game. The next game, we're going to go to Bengals versus Brown. And the Browns ended up getting the big win in this one with that Baker Mayfield game-winning touchdown. Jose, you ready for this one?
I am, actually.
All right, go ahead.
Bengals gonna Bengal. Every time these guys play, they always mess something up. The reason they're called the Bungles to me, because they bungle everything they have, dude. I mean, they're about to take the lead. They're doing so well, and they just blow it. They have a great young QB, and instead of getting protection for him, their O-line's just like, here you go. You can just attack him, kill him if you want. I mean, the Bengals are playing like how the Bengals always play, mediocre.
I think that's a great analyzation. Jennifer, let me see what you got.
I put, is Baker for real, ? Because that's how I felt through the entire game. I was like, is this for real? Like, is he actually playing this well? Is this a fluke? We obviously know the Bengals do play mediocre football, so I was kind of like, is this going to continue to happen? Or is he going to go back to being terrible?
His sponsors probably called after the first quarter.
Hulu
and were
called
like,
him.
You
Yeah,
wanna
Hulu
lose
was
your
like,
Hulus?"
you need to play better.
Y'all are all focused on Baker Mayfield. My 3 words are found their guy. I think Burrow, despite what their record says, in their last 6 out of the 7 games, it's been decided by less than 10 points. It's been a really competitive season for the Bengals in each of their games, despite what he has around him. So I think at least they found their guy on the quarterback position. The rest of the game, you just got to figure that out. Next game, let's go to Panthers versus the Saints. Jennifer, you look like you're ready. Go ahead.
I put I don't care because I don't. Like these teams both, I'm trying to figure out if these are bad good teams or good bad teams. Like one week they look great and then the next week they look terrible. And I'm very confused and I honestly don't care. I don't think either one of them are going to win their division at this point. And so I honestly did not care. I'm sorry.
Okay, Jose, go ahead.
Breeze is old, and I drew a little old guy right there. Because he's old, man. What's going on with Drew Brees, dude? He used to bully the Panthers, and now he almost lost to these guys. He's lost to everything. But you know what? Glad he's losing because I love Jameis Winston, even though he throws 30 interceptions a season. I think he's going to be like the new starting quarterback next year, dude. Breeze is just doesn't have it anymore. He's washed. Old. Sucks.
Okay, I guess my 3 words would be all about the QBs. Well, that's 4, but all about QBs. This game was just all about the QBs. Bridgewater, he's had a big season so far. This is probably gonna be he's on pace for a career year. He threw 2 touchdowns for 254 yards, and then Brees, he's still showing he's good, but not good to make a big impact. Something like that. All right, the next game we're gonna go to the Cardinals versus the Seahawks. Might be one of the best games of the weekend. All right, let's get this one quick, guys. Jennifer, you got yours?
I put Battle of the Shorties. No, the announcers told us every time we came back, they were like, did you know that the average height in this game is like 5'10" and a half? I'm like, yes, we obviously know the quarterbacks are short. Like, I get it. I definitely think it was probably the best game we've gotten to see this year, though, for sure. It was an amazing game.
All right.
Definitely, Jose. We're running out of time. Go ahead, tell me
The
what you got.
Seahawks, with no win, because they don't have a W, are overrated. They have yet to beat a over 500 team this season, and it kind of showed that their defense is awful against the Cardinals and against most teams. Overrated.
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer and Jose. You want to find out what's going on with UNT football? We got your answer right after the break.
Every child deserves a future. Every last child.
After 3 weeks of losing that raised questions on the projection of UNT's football season, the Mean Green finally tasted victory in their visit to Murfreesboro against Middle Tennessee. The new question moving forward, what now? We thought we'd get the answer to that this weekend, but the game's postponement due to a COVID-19 surge in El Paso has robbed the Mean Green of the chance. So we're going to tell you what we think of UNT's future and the rest of college football. Alongside me for the breakdown is James Carroll and Rachel Sanders. Guys, I'm hurt for this one because I was excited. We just got a win. I want to see another W for the Mean Green this weekend, but it's not going to happen. Rachel, let me know, what was your reaction? Where were you when we got the news that we're not playing?
I was actually at home, and I had just been looking at my phone. I'm like, oh, goodness, I see a surge in in El Paso, and I was like, wow. I'm a little shocked. I'm really hopeful, though, I was really hoping to get some momentum going into the next game, and I think that I hope that we can keep that defense at least decent and, be there, essentially.
Definitely. James, what do you think was going to happen if we were to play against UTEP?
Well, like Rachel said, we would need a good defense because LA has a lot of ways to move the ball. Their quarterback, Luke Anthony, has 1,000 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns, only 3 picks. They have a lot of creative ways to move the ball. They got that dual running back threat. They got wide receivers. They like to move the ball around a whole lot. So definitely defense would be key. I was also kind of disappointed we didn't get to see Jason Bean in his second week. He looked really good, threw for 2 touchdowns, really good passing percentage. And I'm glad he gets another week to get some starter reps, kind of wet his feet a little more for next week.
Definitely, James. I'll stick with you. So you're talking about Jason Bean. After the postponement of our UTEP matchup, what should we be doing for this extra bye week?
Like I said before, just giving Jason Bean those starter reps, I'm sure he was getting some, but, obviously Austin Aune was the starting quarterback beforehand, so he was the number 1 priority. But now that Jason Bean's the top guy, look for him to get a lot more reps and look for him to be more efficient. In that game, he went 12 for 17, 2 touchdowns, 181 yards. I look for another efficient performance from him next week against LA.
Okay, yeah, we have a defense average allowing 38 points. If you're Seth Luttrell, Rachel, what are you doing in this extra bye week?
In this extra bye week, honestly, you're working on team chemistry and bonding. This is the time to actually get your defense together and keep that momentum that you had from last week going into the next season and really making the end of the season really count and showing why you're the good coach and why you're actually should be here and you should just keep the momentum going.
I think you're right. If you're Seth Luttrell, you're not necessarily on a hot seat, but you're kind of like, it's warming up in here. So, Rachel, I want to stick with you. The following week, we're set to face LA Tech next weekend. What are going to be the most important factors going into that matchup?
I think, honestly, consistency is the key for this game. If you can keep Bean in there and you can keep him in there consistently and he can get some better passing and some more chemistry with his teammates, that'd be great. And I also think the defense just needs to be there and show up because La Tech is a very offensive team and it's going to be very fun to see how it goes.
I definitely agree, James. Let's make our way to the rest of college football. The Big Ten made its return last Saturday, but some of the big news surrounding them: the Wisconsin's QB Graham Mertz has tested positive for COVID-19. He's going to be out for at least 2 weeks. They canceled their game against Nebraska, but how do you think him missing for Wisconsin is going to affect the rest of their season?
Well, it's going to be really hard. Luckily, or hopefully, he won't be out for too long. Throwing for 5 touchdowns, he almost completed 100% of his passes in that game against Illinois. Super impressive. I don't think Nebraska will be much of a problem. They got blown out by Ohio State this past game. I don't think this game against Wisconsin will be much different. I think Wisconsin wins pretty easily, but going forward, hopefully they can get Graham Mertz back, and I'm kind of viewing him as kind of a dark horse Heisman candidate if he keeps throwing up these numbers.
Okay, that's interesting. Rachel, let me know, what do you think? If he ends up not playing for 2 weeks, how much, or even further if it ends up continuing and being a COVID problem, how bad do you see this happening for Wisconsin?
I honestly don't think it's really that bad. Their team is known for the run. And as much as I want to say, yes, you need a good quarterback, their running in that team can really push them forward. And I think that's the momentum they're ultimately going to need. And if their defense can just play like they've done in the past, I think they shouldn't have anything to worry about. Honestly, they're the team I would say has probably one of the better chances to win the Big Ten. It's honestly, I think, between them and Ohio State.
Dev, I guess I'm going to be the one to argue against you. I think it is a big impact because I feel like the Big Ten is probably going to be the most competitive that we've seen in a long time. Ohio State, Penn State, Minnesota, Michigan, a lot of big names. I want to stay in the Big Ten real quick. Number 3, Ohio State's playing number 18, Penn State. Rachel, what's your prediction for that game?
I think you shouldn't underestimate Penn State. They did lose by 1 point in overtime, but I still think Ohio State gets not an easy victory, but if they show up, they'll be there and they get an easy victory.
Okay, James, real quick, do you agree with Rachel?
I do. Penn State had high hopes coming into the season. They were ranked super high, but that Indiana upset, I think, is going to derail their whole season. I predict a similar blowout that Ohio State gave Nebraska, and Penn State goes 0-2 for the season.
Definitely. Thanks for your time, Rachel and James. Trivia Thursday is up next. Stick around.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars.
The Mean Greens return to the Super Pit, maybe coming sooner than you think. The reigning CUSA champs released their official regular season schedule this week, which has stirred up excitement and anticipation for how they'll perform on the court this year. We're showing our hardwood spirit with this week's challenge on college basketball. Here for the test is AJ Tellers and Gilberto Obregon. Guys, I know you guys know your basketball, so I'm excited to see who wins. Y'all ready to go?
Yes, sir. Do this.
All right.
Let's get it.
Number 1. Which college has the most championships in the history of NCAA men's basketball? A, Duke, B, Kentucky, or C, UCLA? I'll give y'all 10 seconds, starting now. All right, time is up. AJ, go ahead, show me your answer.
Well, I'm going with a team that's real close to my hometown, C, UCLA.
All right, Gilberto, let me see yours.
I'm going to go with the Blue Devils and go with Duke.
No, but AJ, you got that one right. The answer is UCLA. While Duke and Kentucky have arguably been more relevant in the postseason in recent years, UCLA has 11 titles in total. Kentucky is second place with 8. All right, the score is AJ 1, Gilberto 0. Number 2. This current NBA All-Star took his third-seeded UConn Huskies to a championship victory and received the Most Outstanding Player award. Who is he? A. Kemba Walker, B. Kyrie Irving, or C. Klay Thompson? Give y'all 10 seconds starting now.
I know Kemba had a great tournament. I just don't remember what seed they were.
Could matter, never know. All right, Gilberto, time's up. You look like you've been ready for a while. Go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead and go with A, Kemba Walker.
Okay, AJ, let me see your answer.
Yeah, I went with A as well.
All right, both right on that one.
Oh, that's good.
AJ, you now have 2. Gilberto, you have 1. Here's a fun fact. In this championship, Kemba beat Butler and their former head coach, Brad Stevens, who's now Kemba's head coach for the Boston Celtics. Number 3. Which university has produced the most NBA players? A, Kentucky, B, UCLA, or C, North Carolina? Give y'all 10 seconds starting now.
That's a tough one. I said my under-over was 2.5, Gilbert, so I'll see if I can break that.
All right, 10 seconds up. AJ, let me see it.
Okay, this is supposed to be an A.
All right, Gilberto.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with A, too. I think Kentucky produces a lot of NBA talent.
It's been
Ding,
a factory.
ding, ding. AJ, you now have 3.
Yikes.
Gilberto, you now have 2.
Who had the over?
Kentucky had 107 players in total, and UCLA was second with 97. That's a lot of talent.
Yeah, Kentucky's been a factory the last couple of years.
Definitely. Number 4, UNT has made it to the big March Madness tourney 3 times since joining D1 Sports. What's the farthest they've gone? A, Sweet 16, B, second round, or C, the first round? Give y'all 10 seconds starting now.
They won a game.
All right, Gilberto, go ahead.
You know, I want to be a little optimistic and be hopeful, so I'm going to go ahead and say B, second round.
All right, AJ, let me hear yours.
Yeah, I'm not trying to follow you here, but that's what my gut tells me, B, second round.
Wrong. All 3 appearances have been first-round losses. Our most recent one was in 2010.
Darn it.
I think last year, if it wasn't for COVID, I think we would have made it to the NCAA tournament. Could have made some shake, but it is what it is. AJ still got 3. Gilberto, you have 2. Question number 5. Who won the 2020 national championship? A, Duke, B, Kentucky, or C, Villanova? You got 10 seconds starting now.
My gosh, it seems so long ago.
It does.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm drawing a blank here.
Bro, you copying me, bro.
This might be the tough one to get wrong.
All right, AJ, go ahead.
Yeah, C, Villanova. I'm gonna laugh at this one if I get this one wrong.
Same, I'm going with C. I know it isn't Duke for sure, so I'm going to go with C.
I'm laughing at both of y'all because it's a trick question. The tournament was canceled because of COVID-19.
Bro, you know, I
There
was
was no
thinking
way.
that,
That's
but
why
I
it was fuzzy.
I was
would've got
thinking,
2.
but I was like,
You would have got
maybe
2
they played
extra
earlier
points.
this year.
Oh my
You would have
goodness.
just said no one. You would have got 2 extra points, man.
So there's a reason I felt funny about that one. Like, it seems like it would be obvious who won it, but
I
guess
felt
that's why.
hilarious watching. All right. AJ, you still got the lead 3-2. Question number 6. Michael Jordan won how many national championships at North Carolina? A, 0, B, 1, C, 2. Let's make this one quick. Starting now. Okay. Gilberto, let's see it.
I'm going to go with 0, if I remember correctly. Maybe.
All right, AJ.
B, I got 1.
Correct. This one championship came his freshman year as a Tar Heel thanks to his game-winning shot against Georgetown. AJ, you won. Thank you, AJ and Gilberto, and thank you all for watching. Tune in for more Mean Green Screen Thursdays at 4. See you next time.